Well, hey guys, what's up? It's your boy Air Legends, and today I am back with the next part of What If Naruto Went Back in Time. Now, let's get into this video. Last time we left off when Naruto defeated Madara at the cost of whole shinobi world, and the whole shinobi world got destroyed, as well as Sasuke, who died by the hands of Madara, and Naruto was not able to save him. Hagoromo gave Naruto all of his powers and sent him back in time. As now, Naruto is the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails, where he met Hashirama and Madara. As Naruto became a part of the village. After that, Naruto fought two great shinobi wars and became a hero in the village as the name Naruto Uzumaki spread across the ninja world as the strongest ninja alive, stronger than even Hashirama, as Naruto defeated Hashirama single-handedly. After that, Minato arises as the Yellow Flash in the Third Great Ninja War. In this time, Naruto was able to save first, second Hokage, but due to the some problems, first Hokage died, but Naruto was able to save the second one, as well as now. It's time for Minato to become Hokage. Now let's get into this video. As third Hokage is about to retire, as third Hokage suggested that Naruto should become the Hokage, as all the elders agreed to this, but Naruto refuses. As second Hokage was also there, as second said, Naruto, you are the most strongest ninja there is. I think that you should take the role of the Hokage now. Naruto said, well, it is not time yet. I think that the next generation should have a chance now. And who is better than the Yellow Flash, who has spread his name across the ninja world and considered to be one of the strongest? I believe that he will become a great Hokage. As second Hokage and the third Hokage insisted that Naruto should become Hokage as he is the strongest there. But because Naruto told them his decision, they cannot argue with that, as Minato was announced the fourth Hokage. Many people like Minato, but most of the people liked Naruto and wanted him to become Hokage. But Naruto announces that he do not want to become Hokage and wanted to give this seat to the young generation as Minato, as all of them agreed to this, and finally Minato became the fourth Hokage. In this time, Naruto was doing his things as he was training hard, wanted to get strong as possible. Now he's a lot stronger than, you can say he is at least 200 times stronger than he was when he arrived in this timeline, as he was training for over 40 to 60 years and already have fought three great shinobi wars. Even though Naruto wanted to stop them, but he was able to minimize the damage because he don't kill people even in the war and just knock them or damage them so that they can return back to their villages. That is why Naruto has a lot of respect in the whole shinobi world. But people were amazed to see that he do not grow, as he was still looked like 27 or something, or even less, because Naruto told them that his growth is quite slow, but in reality he is even less than 20 years old. He do not age, as when he fought the fourth great ninja war, his age is stuck in that time. You see the photo in this thumbnail, he is just like that. Well, anyways, after that Naruto was training hard because now he knows that it is time for him to came in this world. And I would like to ask you guys, what should be the ship for this Naruto who came back in time, as I will take that suggestion the people give me. Now let's get back into the video. As now finally the day arrives, Naruto Obito incidents still happens, as it was not stopped, but Naruto was able to save Rin. No, let's just say Rin also died, as Naruto was already busy in the war, as it was the time of the third great ninja war, as Minato was also busy as well as Naruto. But as Obito was tricked by Madara and he came to the bad side. After that, finally, Naruto was born and the QB attacked the village. In this time, Naruto was already in the village and he knew that this incident is going to happen. First, he thought that he should stop it, but he knew that Kurama was a great help for him. If he stopped this incident, then his present self will not have the nine tails, and that will be a drastic change in the timeline. So he allowed it to happen. After that, when the Nine Tails attacked the village, Naruto suddenly appeared in front of him as the big Rasengan was smashed into his chest, which sent him flying outside the village. As most of the villagers and shinobi, when first Nine Tails appeared and roared in the village, they already appeared. Then they saw that how Naruto pushed him back out of the village as all of them cheered for him. Then all of them went to help him. Then Minato arrived there as he thought of using the Reaper Death Seal so that he can sail away the Nine Tails because they cannot put him down for long. So he bring Kushina and Naruto to do the Reaper Death Seal, but Naruto stopped him and said, "Stop it, Minato. I have a better plan. I am here for a long time and know a lot of sealing jutsus. So just stop it." As Naruto did his own hand signs and chains came from his behind. As in this time, he developed his Uzumaki Kekkei and developed it with a different power as it was just like Shinigami, as the half of the Nine Tails were ripped out from his real body and sealed away into the Naruto of this timeline. And then he made some other hand signs as some of the part of QB chakra was separated, you can say the 5%, as it was resealed in Kushina so that she will not die. As Minato was shocked because he never knew such a seal exists, because you guys should know that Minato was a seal master, being able to made the 4 trigram seal on Naruto's body. That was quite good seal, able to hold back Nine Tails for a long time. Well, anyways, Naruto sealed away rest of the chakra within himself so that people will target him for the hatred if they want to. But he knew that people not say anything to him, not hate him, because he knew that his reputation as a hero is far greater than anything else. Well, now the Nine Tails was easily sealed away. That the Nine Tails, the 45% that was in this present timeline, woken his eyes within Naruto. He saw that the cage was quite weaker and he could easily break it if he wants to. Then he sensed the other tail beast. He saw that there are already 9 tail beasts inside of this guy who sealed him away. As he was shocked, then the cage was opened and the Naruto appeared in his mindscape. Remember that in his mindscape he looked like just in the thumbnail as he appeared there, as the Nine Tails was shocked to see himself behind Naruto and his full self, as he was surprised. As then the future Kurama speaks up. "Well, I know it is quite confusing. Let's just put it simply that we and this guy here came from the future so that we can stop what is about to happen." As the present Kurama was shocked as he asked, "What do you mean by that? And how did you came back?" As the Nine Tails and the other tail beasts explained what happened in the future and how their father asked them all to help this kid so that they can change the future. And he already told us the threat that is coming towards the earth in the form of Utsutsuskis who are going to after our chakra, no matter what the timeline actually is. As Kurama understand it, as he agreed to help Naruto as well. After that, it was announced that Naruto became the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails and has stopped the Nine Tails. As people, since the damage was almost zero and no one died, people did not hate anyone or blame anyone for it, as they knew that Naruto, the future Naruto of course, is quite strong and he can easily take down the Ninetales as they saw that the big Rasengan that was smashed into the Ninetales' body and sent him flying outside the village was quite powerful, and they knew that their Naruto will not change anyways. After that, Minato was quite happy, as well as Kushina, as Naruto visited them with their newborn baby, who was none other than himself. As Minato noticed that his son also has the same whisker marks just like this Naruto, but for now he just shrugged it off and thanked Naruto for it. As Kushina said, well, if you want, well, would you like to give us the honor to name our son after you, as you're the one who saved his life as well as ours? As Naruto was quite happy to hear this, as he said, well, that would be my honor because I would train him and become his sensei. If you guys agree with that, as both Kushina and Minato became quite happy about it because they knew that how strong Naruto actually is, and if their child, this present Naruto, is going to train with him, he's definitely going to become a hero and the most powerful shinobi to ever live. As all of them agreed to this, as Naruto smiled at both of them, then they named Naruto. As the time passes, as the present Naruto entered the academy, as Naruto first met with him and explained everything what happened in the future to the Naruto that has sealed in the present, to the Kurama that has sealed into the present Naruto, as he agreed to help Naruto, and Naruto also opened the cage so that Kurama can came out and change the mindscape for his better. As Naruto started to train with the future Naruto at a young time, in this time Naruto also thought that including Sasuke for training that will help improving the bond between the Uchihas and the village, but he thought that not now. First he would like to train his present self so that he can become strong and able to control his chakra and powers, because he knew that this immense power will need a lot of work and a hard body. So he would like to train this Naruto first for some time so that there could be a rivalry between both of them, just like the future. As Naruto trained this present Naruto from 4 years to the end of academy, let's just say, to the end of academy. In this time, Naruto became a lot stronger. He's already a Jonin level, an elite Jonin level fighter. As it is time for the team selections, Naruto was already declared, was offered to become the elder of the village, but Naruto said, well, I don't look old, so I cannot accept it. As everyone started to laugh, well, Minato said, well, you certainly don't look old, but you are an old man, aren't you? As Naruto chuckled at this, and said, well, I would not agree with that because I'm still powerful than you, Minato. As everyone started to laugh, as Minato also laughed nervously, and then Naruto said, well, I wanted to ask you something. It is a request if you accept it, Hokage. As Minato said, well, you don't have to make a request. You could simply order me. As Naruto said, well, you are the Hokage, but I have a request that I would be given the team of your son and the team you have selected for him. As Minato said, well, I have not selected his team just yet. As Naruto said, well, I should suggest you to put Sasuke Uchiha and Sakura Haruno. No, just slash that. Sasuke Uchiha as well as Hinata Hyuga within the team so that it could become a strong team. As Minato said, well, those three are already the superiors of their team, of their class. So why should we put them together? It will make the team a lot more powerful than our system make the teams. Naruto said, well, because I want to train the team. When everyone heard that Naruto want a team, their jaws hit the ground as the Hiruzen was who was there and said, well, why do you want that team. As Naruto said, well, I was getting quite bored in all this time. It is quite peace time, you can say, and I'm getting quite bored. As the son of Hokage is already my student, and I want to train him. The nine tails in him. So I want him to gain the powers of the nine tails and help him with it. As now Naruto had already shown them the KCM, even though he could enter the KCM already, but he wanted to show them that he had already mastered the power of the Nine Tails that he had sealed in himself, which shocked both of them, Hiruzen and Minato, who were there. Let's just say second Hokage was also there. Naruto said, well, Minato, your son can also achieve this power. So I want to train him. And for the Sasuke Uchiha, you can put Kakashi Hatake as my assistant to help the team. That would help them all. As Minato finally nodded. Inside he was quite happy that he was being trained. His son was being trained from the one of the legendary shinobi in all the history and one of the strongest there is. As Minato nodded for it and made finally the team. Now, in the class, let's just came back to the present Naruto time. Naruto first time met the future Naruto when he was 4 years old, as he was surprised because he heard stories about this Naruto, and Naruto, future Naruto, came to the house of Minato as it was a celebration, you can say birthday of the present Naruto, as this future Naruto was invited. I'm getting quite confused in Naruto and Naruto, but let's just say the future Naruto was invited in the birthday as the future Naruto came in the house of Minato as the third Hokage as well as the second Hokage who became quite old are already there, as well as Minato, Kushina and Naruto were there as the future Naruto was invited as he came there with a present for this Naruto and gave it to it. In this time, the present Naruto did not know who this guy is, even though he knows that third Hokage as well as second Hokage, but Naruto was quite busy in his trainings. So he wanted to meet Naruto as Naruto introduces himself as the Naruto Uzumaki. When the present Naruto heard that, he said, no, I am the Naruto Uzumaki, as everyone started to laugh. Then future Naruto chuckled and said, well, you was named after me, so you could say that we both are Naruto Uzumaki, huh? As he smiled, but something clicked on his mind and said, wait a minute, are you the one, the legendary shinobi, the most powerful hero of the village? As the future Naruto smiled, as he said, well, you could say that. So, young man, it's time to cut the cake, right? As everyone nodded, as it was a great celebration. After that, future Naruto, was talking with Hiruzen and the Minato. Then he suggested the idea that it is about time that he should start training this Naruto so that he can become strong and can control the Nine Tails power in time. As Minato nodded at this, and then Naruto finally started to train this present Naruto. It was a little weird for him, training his younger self and being even older than his father and mother, but he had to get along with it. As he started to train, in due time, there was a great bond between the present Naruto and the future, as the present Naruto looked up to this Naruto as a hero and a great shinobi. As after when Naruto became 7 years old, Naruto told him what is inside of him. He was a little sad that Naruto entered the KCM mode as the future present Naruto's eyes widened, and then Naruto said, well, this is the power of the QV that is sealed inside of me. If you want, I can train you so that you can achieve this power as well. Don't look at him like a monster, look at him like a friend and try to bond with him. And I believe that one day you will be able to make friends with your Ninetales just like I did with mine. As the present Naruto smiled, and now he has a goal to achieve the same power, so he trained quite hard. Now let's get to the present time. As Iruka entered the class, in this time Sasuke and Naruto already have developed a rivalry between them. And I want to say that Uchiha Massacre did not happen. I repeat, Uchiha Massacre did not even happen because Uchihas were not blamed at the first place for the Nine Tails attack because there was already no attack as Naruto finished it in the one blow. As now, Sasuke and Naruto became quite good friends and there's a rivalry between them. Even though Sasuke did not like the idea that Naruto was already being trained by the greatest shinobi of all times, Naruto Uzumaki. But he had to get along with it, as he was already being trained by Shisui and Itachi and his father. Then Iruka came in the class and said, "Silence!" as all the class silenced, as it was exam was already over. Let's just say it was time for the team selection. As Iruka said, "Well, I am proud of you guys. Now all of you have become shinobi of the village, and now it is time for you guys to become the future of this village. Now, I'm going to announce the teams." So, as he announced all the teams, let's just say Sakura was replaced by Hinata, and in the place of Hinata, in Kurana's team was Sakura. She says she did not like the idea that she was put in. She was not put in the team of any of her crushes. Yes, in this time, Naruto had his own fan club, as a lot of girls like him, as he was quite healthy for his age and quite ripped, being trained by a legendary shinobi, well, of course, by himself, you can say, and being the son of Hokage, a great fangirls were after him. But she had to get along with it. Then Iruka plane came to Team 7 finally, as his eyes widened, as he said, Naruto Uzumaki, Sasuke Uchiha, Hinata Hyuga. When he came to the sensei, his heart missed a beat, as he could not believe his eyes. What is written in the report? As everyone noticed the reaction of Iruka, as then Naruto said, "What is wrong, Iruka sensei?" As Iruka said, your sensei is the legendary shinobi Naruto Uzumaki, as everyone's eyes widens. And then Iruka said, "Not only that, one of the elite jonins of the village, Kakashi Hatake, the Coppin ninja, as the most of the people know who Kakashi is, but his charm and reputation got overshadowed by the legendary shinobi Naruto Uzumaki." As when he said that, some of the all of the kids' eyes widened. Even Sasuke noticed that, but he was quite happy from inside because now he got a chance to be trained by one of the legendary shinobis known to be strongest in the world and in all times was going to train him. He is definitely going to surpass his brother, as it is his goal now, as well as in a longer time he would surpass Naruto as well, as he was thinking this. Then, after some time, the senseis came and took their team, as most of the people were not happy about it because this team 7 is getting the special treatment, being trained by the one of the legendary shinobis, as well as the copy ninja Kakashi Hatake, but they had to get along with it. But because they knew that it was the son of the Hokage after all, as then after some time, finally Naruto came there. As then some of the girls heard that Naruto is an old man and from the time of the first Hokage, but when he entered, he was so young, as he looked like in his 20s, as he had long blonde hairs, as he was dressed up in black, as well as some points of orange. Of course, Naruto. You can say that at his wrist there was some orange, and he finally came into the class as the most of the girls who just heard about him had the hearts in their eyes as they were staring at him. And then Kakashi also came there because Naruto dragged him there, not wanted him to be late anymore. As then Naruto stood up, Naruto sensei, as the present Naruto speaks up, as Naruto smiled and said, "Well, Team 7, meet us on the rooftop." After saying that, both of them cinching away. As then Sasuke, Naruto, and Hinata finally got there, got to the upper roof. When they arrived there, Kakashi and Naruto were there. Then they took their positions. You know, the stair. Then Naruto asked, "Okay, guys, now tell us about your dreams, likes, dislikes, things like that." As then Hinata said, "Would you like to explain it first?" As she stuttered, "You know, Hinata." Yeah, Naruto also saved Hinata, but this time he just destroyed those bullies and some of them just ran because, you know, Hokage-san. As then Naruto said, "Well, Kakashi, would you like to go first?" As Kakashi said the same things, likes, none of your concern, dislikes, none of your concern, hobbies, don't like telling you, as all of them just nodded dumbly as Naruto smiled and then said, "Well, now it's my turn. My name is Naruto. Naruto Uzumaki. Well, first you can say that I am half Namikaze at the same time, as this catches the attention of Sasuke, who noticed that same name, huh? But he thought that it could be a coincidence because all of the people know that Naruto is actually an old man. He just does not age. As then, the Naruto said, "Well, my likes are ramen. My dislikes are, you can say, war or things like those." As then, my dream, huh? Well, I never thought about it. You can say that one day, who knows, I will become Hokage, huh?" As all of them nodded. And then Sasuke turns came. As Sasuke said, "Well, my dream is to become the head of the police force of the Konoha and become stronger than my brother Itachi. And I think that now I can become strong by looking at Naruto." As Naruto give him a nod. As then Sasuke said, "My likes are to hanging out with my friend Naruto and spar with my rival Naruto. And my dislikes are fangirls." As he nodded. After that, Naruto turn came. He said, "Well, my name is Naruto Uzumaki. I like ramen. I like to train with my sensei, Naruto." As then, and my dislikes, no, I don't have any dislikes. And I want to become Hokage one day. As he said, with at the top of his lung. As Naruto chuckled at this. After that, Hinata said, "I want to become a strong Hyuga so that I can prove my worth and change the Hyuga clan." As Naruto nodded, "Well," Naruto speaks up, "I believe one day you will become strong, Hinata." As she nodded and thanked the future Naruto for that. Then future Naruto speak up. Then Kakashi speaks up and tell them about the pell test and told them not to eat, otherwise they might puke. As Naruto chuckled at this. As then both of them went off. Kakashi went off. Then Naruto just started to walk away. As then Naruto came up to him, the present Naruto, and said, "Well, Naruto sensei, do you think what type of test it would be?" Naruto looked towards him and said, "Well, it would depend. I can't tell you just yet, but your progress in this is important, otherwise, you will not become a great shinobi." As Naruto nodded. Then he went off by using the Shinchuin. As Sasuke said, he knows the Shinchuin. As Hinata also went off. But Naruto, the future Naruto, knew that Sasuke would like to speak with him. So that's why he did not send Chuin away and just started to walk. As Sasuke said, why aren't you using the same technique? Naruto said, well, I just want to walk a little, that's all. As Sasuke said, mind if I came along? As Naruto said, well, that would be an honor for me. As Sasuke said, no, it would be an honor for me, of course. As Naruto smiled. Then both of them started to walk. As Sasuke said, so, I never heard that you had a team or something like that. I know that you helped training with these legendary Sanins. But why are you taking this team? Is it because you want to train Naruto? Naruto looked toward him. Well, Sasuke, it is not just Naruto. Otherwise, Naruto would be a one-man team if I would like to train him alone. But you should know that Naruto is a different case, you see. At this time, most of the people knew that Naruto, the other Naruto, is the Jinchuriki of the other half of the Nine Tails, but they don't care anything about it. As Naruto said, he has the Nine Tails, and it could go violent sometimes, as the present and the future Nine Tails inside of him grow. As Naruto chuckled nervously inside his mindscape, as then he said that I just want him to keep the Nine Tails inside of Naruto in check. That's why I give him some training. But don't worry. If you want, I can train you today, Uchiha. As Sasuke's eyes widened because he did not expected that he's going to get the training today. As he finally smiled and nodded excitedly inside. But he had his cool attitude, Sasuke. As Naruto said, well, okay. As he put his hand on the shoulder of Sasuke and Flying Raijin, using Flying Raijin, vanished from there and came to the ground. Naruto said, well, at which do you awaken the Sharingan? As Sasuke said, well, I already have one Tomoe in both eyes. Naruto said, well, okay then. The test is going to be 2 days after this. For these 2 days, I will train you. And I believe that you will be able to reach the 3 Tomoes in both eyes. When Sasuke heard that, his eyes widened. He never heard that someone is developing his Sharingan from 1 Tomoe to 3 Tomoes in 2 days. But he knew that who is talking about the legendary shinobi himself, so he cannot argue with that in any case at all. As he smiled, then Naruto said, okay Sasuke, first of all I would like to see how strong you actually are. Come at me at full speed and full power. Just don't hold back, otherwise you might regret it. As Sasuke nodded, knowing that who is going to be his opponent and not wanted to get behind or disappoint his new sensei, as he just used as he dashes towards Naruto. As before coming in front of him, he stepped aside and finally made complete his hand signs as he was just running, making a small illusion in front of his hands, but Naruto was able to see through it quite easily as he smirked. Noticing that, being with Itachi, Naruto Sasuke had already learned quite good Genjutsu, as Sasuke launches his fireball at Naruto. But he was shocked to see that the fireball hit him head on, as he was shocked. He thought that the fireball will be countered by other jutsu or he will dodge it, but it hit him head on. Then after 2 seconds, all the fire just vanishes as he saw that there was not even a scratch on Naruto's body. Naruto said, well, not bad, but it can get improved quite well. Now let's just see any other tricks. As Sasuke nodded, noticing that it is not a surprise after all who Naruto actually is. As then Sasuke dashes towards him using the taijutsu, but with a single hand. Naruto was able to block and deflect everything, as Sasuke did everything he could, used every trick and jutsu he learned with from Shisui and other Uchihas and in academy, but it was of no avail. He was single-handedly, with single hand, defeated by the hands of this Naruto. There was nothing he could do about it. As then Naruto said, okay then, now let's get serious a little. It's time for your real training, Uchiha. As Naruto vanished from his side, came in front of him and punched him, not full power punch, just for him a little. But for Sasuke, it was like a hammer that was just put in his gut, as it was so hard, as he was sent flying. But before he could hit a rock behind him, Naruto arrived behind him and kicked him upward, as he just limited his power to a Ganin level, of course. Otherwise, Sasuke would have been died in the first punch, as Sasuke was rolling to the ground, as he could not believe that two little attacks for him, as he is not even trying. He could see that he was not using any of his powers. He was on the ground so easily. Then he started to attack Naruto, trying his best, and in all this time his Sharingan was active, as Naruto could sense that his Sharingan was actually developing. As Naruto smirked at this, as for the whole day Naruto trained Sasuke, as he gave him some weights and told him that Naruto, also wear these weights and you should try them. They are quite good. As Sasuke nodded after hearing that Naruto also uses them, and he trained. He was surprised to see that after the one day of training, he had already activated the two Tomoe in one eye and three Tomoe in the other eye, as it was a harsh training. Every time Naruto beat him up and then healed him using his healing jutsu quite easily, and then beat him up again. In this time, Sasuke noticed that his perception speed, as well as his strength and his chakra, got quite greater, as he thanked Naruto and went back to his house, as he smirked that just one day of training and I already have awakened the three Tomoe in one eye and two in the other, and my chakra reserves also get greater. I can't believe that. If I trained by him just a year, I would easily become stronger than Itachi. As he smirked, and he went back to his house. As he explained this, who is going to be his sensei, to Fugaku and Itachi, as both of their eyes got widened, knowing that who Naruto actually is, and he explained both of them that he trained him today, but there will be a bell test tomorrow. No, after one day, let's just say, as both of them nodded. But then, when Sasuke awakens his three Tomoe Sharingan and two in the other eye, both of them were shocked, as he said, well, I trained him with one day only, and I have already awakened my three Tomoe in one eye and the two other, as just in the morning, I had one Tomoe in both eyes, as Itachi was the one who was most shocked, knowing that how hard he had to work so that he can progress his Sharingan, and this shinobi had already trained Sasuke for one day and he has awoken the three Tomoe. Who knows, he's going to be awakened his Mangekyo Sharingan in no time at all. As Itachi and Fugaku were most shocked, they were wondering that how did that happen, and they both asked Sasuke, and Sasuke explained that how I attacked him using taijutsu, as he was just dodging and beating me up. After beating, he just healed me up, and then we get at it once again. By doing so, my chakra reserves had also increased a little, as well as my perception speed, and in this time, I already awoken the three Tomoe Sharingan, as both of them nodded, still surprised that such a legendary shinobi is training a team. Nonetheless, the team in which his son is, Fugaku was thinking this, but glad at the same time, knowing that Sasuke will become quite strong, as both of them were quite happy for Sasuke as they congratulated him. And then Itachi said, well, just remember, Sasuke, if you fail in the next exam, the bell test, you are not going to become a Ganin or going to be in his team. So you have to do your best in this test. Otherwise, you know the circumstances. As Sasuke gulped and made a note that he's going to do anything to be in his team, as he nodded. In this time, Naruto, the present Naruto, went back to his house and told his father and mother. Kushina was the most surprised, who did not knew that Naruto was the one who is going to train this team, as she was quite happy and asked Minato about it, as Minato explained that Naruto, for some reason, wanted to train Naruto. In all this time, something was bugging in the mind of the Minato, as he was thinking that how similar Naruto and the other Naruto actually are. The whisker marks, the blonde hairs, Uzumaki, and as well as the Namikaze. There was something, there was a little doubt in his mind. He was thinking that there's something wrong about it. As Naruto noticed that as well, the future Naruto, as he sighed and entered in his mindscape. As his mindscape was quite a good place as he changed the view. There was a lot of places, just like a earth that was made in his mindscape, but he could summon all the tail beasts whenever he wants. For the tail beasts, they are living in the outside world. There was everything they want. As Shikaku wanted a sand-like place, a desert, as it was given to him. For the eight tails, the ocean, it was granted. For the fox, it was the forest, as well as all the demands were completed inside Naruto mindscape, but Naruto could summon them any time. 100 years trapped in a cave, it could become quite boring. As Naruto summoned all of them and then discussed with them, telling them that the Minato is becoming a little suspicious as Kurama, the future Kurama, looked towards Naruto. As he said, Naruto, I know that you never had your parents, and I also know that you always miss them, but now you see them in this timeline, and it hurts your heart for not be with them or do anything, even though you have trained your present self and could see that he is happy in this time. So, just listen to your heart, and if you want to tell them anything, I don't believe that it will change a lot because you have already saved them and changed the timeline drastically. As Naruto was thinking this, as other tail beasts also suggested Naruto to just tell them. As one day, Minato summoned Naruto in his office. As Naruto came there, then he took a seat. Minato also arrived and he dismissed the Ambu. Then he looked towards Naruto and said, well, Lord Naruto, I always wanted to ask you something. It is rare that you and me are quite similar. Naruto asked, what do you mean by that? As Minato said, well, we look quite familiar with each other, similar to each other, and blonde hairs, blue eyes, as well as you have the same whiskers as my son on your face, as well as you are half Uzumaki and half Namikaze. As Naruto said, so where are you getting at it? As Minato said, I wanted to ask you, are you something relative to me? As Naruto smiled and then he said, okay Minato, I will explain this. Just summon your wife here. As Minato said, why Kushina? As Naruto said, just do it. I will explain everything. As then both of them, he nodded and called for Kushina, who was a Jonin in the village, even though she retired for some time because she had to take care of Naruto. But now Naruto had become a shinobi himself. So there was no reason for Kushina to be a housewife. So she became a jonin once again. As Naruto put a seal in whole room. Then he looked towards them. As both of them were confused, then Naruto took a seat and then sighed and said, "Well, I'm going to tell you a story of mine. As it is a lot of time has passed, so I will tell you what I remember." As both of them nodded, not knowing where it is getting at. Then Naruto said, "Well, the night I was born, my father and mother died by sealing away the nine tails inside of me." This statement shocked both of them because they knew that Nine Tails was not sealed away in any of the guy before, because Mito Uzumaki was the first Jinchuriki. Then Kushina became the Jinchuriki and now Naruto was the Jinchuriki. And then Naruto said, "Well, I know what you guys are thinking, but just let me explain this." As both of them nodded, and then Naruto started to explain, both my parents died the night I was born, and I was took by the third Hokage who raised me. All of this was shocking for both Kushina and Minato. And then Naruto explained his life, how he got in the team with Kakashi Sensei in the team 7, and his best friend was Sasuke Uchiha, as as Hinata was the girl who liked him. And Naruto this time knew that. In this time he noticed that how Hinata liked him, but it was too late for him. And Naruto explained everything of his life to the fourth great ninja war, how Madara was revived and how he defeated him. As when Naruto said that in the fourth great ninja war, I defeated him, but everything was destroyed. The fifth Hokage and everyone of the all shinobi world were destroyed. But then the Sage of Six Paths arrived there and gave me a second chance. He made me the Jinchuriki of the all nine-tailed beasts and sent me back in time. But he had no control at which period I will be, as I was sent back at the time of Hashirama Senju. As this statement, as all both Minato and Kushina were hearing him in shock and surprise in their eyes. And then Naruto said, "Well, the rest you know, father." As Naruto looked towards Minato and Kushina, as both of them were surprised at the story. Then Naruto made some hand signs and slammed his hand to the ground, summoning the memories of the past Kushina and Minato and giving it to the present, you can say, the future Kushina and Minato to this present time, as they now know what happened and how. As they were surprised but sad at the same time, because they knew that that would be the future of their this timeline if this Naruto did not came. As Naruto said, "Well, it is quite awkward. It is not, since I am quite older now, and it is a different dimension now. You can say that." As Minato and Kushina both were sad for this Naruto, because now they know that why their son looked like him, and because he is their son. As they were quite sad for this Naruto, as he suffered a lot because of their decision of sealing away the nine tails inside of him, as the fourth great ninja war. As now they remember everything that Naruto knew. As Naruto said, "That is the reason I look like you, Minato. But what can we say now? As this is not my timeline. It is a different timeline now. That is made by me, of course." As both of them were sad, then both of them hugged Naruto, now knowing as they got the previous memories of their previous life, and both of them hugged Naruto, now knowing that how much Naruto suffered and how long he had to wait for him to meet his friends and how much he helped all of them. If he did not came here, they would have been died or other things would be even more worse. As both of them hugged Naruto, as Naruto hugged them back, as all of them were crying. As then they broke the hug, and then Naruto explained them that they cannot tell this to anyone because now he is here and he has a lot of things to do. Then Minato said, why didn't you get rid of the Madara when you came there? All of this could be avoided. Naruto said, well, it could have been avoided, but a lot of incidents would have been changed and we need a lot of people from the Akatsuki as there is a greater threat that is coming towards in our timeline. As Minato said, what threat are you talking about? That Naruto explained the Utsutsuki's and he did not knew that if he killed Madara, the things would have been changed even more greatly and who knows, you and Kushina would never meet each other. But now, since the timeline has repaired himself and it is in a straight order, now I will get rid of Madara when he came back and I will have his eyes so that we can get the Rinnegan. Well, another pair of Rinnegan of course, as this did not surprise neither Minato nor Kushina because anything is possible now because they already have a son who is over 100 years old. It was a little awkward for them, but because now they have the memories of their previous life, they know that what they did to their son and parents, and they got the feelings for this Naruto as their son as well. Okay guys, here I will love this part. Hope you like it. Please tell me in comments what should be the ship for the future Naruto and I will put it there. I know Naruto is now 100 years old and he did not marry. He did not marry because he did not knew that after getting married the timeline would change a lot. So he waited for a long time. You know, if he married someone, you know what will happen. So if you guys wants, I would give him a ship. Otherwise, he could remain single for the rest of his life. It would depend completely on your comments and on me, of course. Okay, peace. Hope you like it. Peace.